Say we working then.
Welcome back to another episode of Square Bidness. My name is Rodney Sorrell.
Say it's Curtis Adams. What's up, y'all?
Still in season 3. I know you haven't seen the both of us, but we have been diligently working. Kurt been busy. It's football season, so
Matter of fact, got my whistle on. Gotta leave here and go to practice.
so Kurt been coaching and everything. His time has been consumed. So, but he's still doing his thing in the community and doing what he needs to do. So
Shout out to you, man, keeping stuff going with the lives, man. I say you doing your big one, bruh.
yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate all of y'all tuning in to the lives. I hope that you took something educational from it, something positive that you can apply to your own life. So I definitely appreciate you guys tuning in to the lives. There will be more, but for right now, we are back together and back
Oh yeah.
tackling those topics that you want to hear about.
Hey, you better book him now before he get too popular. I'm telling you right now, the man to go on places.
So, some quick pertinent business regarding that, guys. It is very hard to get me on a weekend. Last minute stuff. I know stuff does come up last minute, but that just don't work for me. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I would like to know 2 weeks in advance at least, if you would like for me to do some photography for you or whatever project you might have. Um, Please give me 2 weeks notice if you can. But the last minute stuff, guys, I mean it's hit or miss for me. Most of the time, you gonna miss.
Man, what you mean? You can't look out no more, man.
Man,
So you,
I'm a
nah, man, got highfalutin on us, man. You selling out.
no, definitely not, man. But you know, business is business at the end of
Yeah.
the day.
No, that's real, bro. Because when it comes to conducting, this is the square business is always a thing that we do, man. We love
Yeah,
doing it, of course.
yeah.
Reaching out, talking with y'all, especially. But who, especially, who English failed me.
It's been a
But
week, bro. We
bruh,
got one more day and then we can sit down. Maybe.
man, you,
We ain't gonna be able to sit down.
yeah, man. But I think that's the main thing, bro. Is that respecting people's time, bro. Like, last minute stuff is hard to fit into a schedule. And then, you got your job, you got your side businesses, and then on top of that, man, you still got to take care of home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's first and foremost,
That's the
man.
biggest part about it, man.
But we ain't even been able to really golf like that.
Nah, man, and I'm upset about that. Them
Game falling
leaves,
apart.
them leaves about to start falling.
Yeah, but that's part
That's
of
the
it.
best time to get out there, though.
Yes, sir.
Best time.
Oh man, football season when you going in.
Hey, but moving on to today's topic, what we doing?
Man, I think we need to kind of talk about, talking about, people asking you to do stuff last minute, man, and fitting in the schedules, bruh. I kind of joked about it, selling out and stuff like that, but let's get into that, man. Like, what is actually sellout culture, and are we really selling out, or are we doing and getting into that crab in a barrel mindset, man? Like, I think a lot of times when it comes to those people that we call sellouts, we don't understand maybe the work they did behind the scenes.
Yeah,
And granted, you got those that are full legit people that sold out, to get the bag, get the power, whatever, what have you. But oh man,
I'm glad you asked.
oh man,
Now go ahead.
and man, to pull the glasses out on y'all, man. But yeah, bro. Like when it comes to really selling out versus trying to work with community, doing what you can, and then you got to move forward because, like you said, at the end of the day, business is business.
Yeah, man. Time waits for no man. The way I would define a sellout would be someone that exploits their own for financial, political gain, or just any type of, pardon me, y'all, any type of gain that would earn you additional status.
That's fair.
But I think what gets misconstrued a lot of the times, especially with being a small business owner, especially being an African American small business owner, well, I'll start here. I do think that in many cases we price ourselves out of fellowship.
Yeah.
You see it in the barbershops, you see it in my lane, all types of different things. And in business, you have to pay attention to the market. You have to the local market. You have to pay attention to. You really got to figure out what you're worth, what you feel that you're worth, compared to your competitors.
Yeah.
You have to look at who you're trying to appeal to for one. And I think a lot of things get misconstrued with expectations and entitlement. Man, when it all comes down to it, it's just entitlement a lot of the times. But I do think we sometimes price ourselves out of fellowship, and really that's just a lack of business planning.
Yeah. See, and for me, my definition on that same line, but just maybe a touch different. For me, I classify a person that sells out as a person that is unwilling to give back to their community in some way in order to use their power, their influence.
Yeah.
I ain't always gonna say finances because finances get tricky when you get in certain situations. But
Yeah.
anytime you're able to use power, finance, or power or influence to bring up your said community, and sometimes what that comes with is kicking and screaming.
Mm-hmm.
But if a person is unwilling to give back, unwilling to pour back into a lot of their community, that's how I kind of more so define a sellout, not from a business standpoint, but more from like a community relations standpoint.
Yeah.
Like, because there's, I think sellouts exist in different forms. Like, you could be a community sellout, you could be a business sellout, or you could just be like a moral sellout. Like, maybe you had decent morals at one point, and then you sold your morals out just to get ahead, in some form of life. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I go when I think about sellout culture.
But man, you also gotta understand that when people call you a sellout, what are they really saying? Are they saying that, like you said, doing favor after favor after favor, and then you look up one day and then you on the edge of bankruptcy and can't pay for this, can't pay for that. You're really working to a negative. But when someone calls you a sellout, what are they saying? Is it that you're just upset that I can't do any more favors for you? Is that what it is? Or is it that you really feel like I exploited us to gain something? And I don't know. In my case, if that were the case for me, I would say most of the time that, a person's definition of a sellout ain't really what a sellout is.
Right.
Like what I just explained. It's just that you mad that I'm just not gonna do no more favors.
Well, I mean,
and it's not even really a racial thing. It's just the expectation and the entitlement.
Right. And that kind of pours into like crabs in a bucket, right? I say, don't nobody really want to see anybody succeed. Think about it, man. Even in this world in the podcast game, right? Man, folks will tell you they love you and all that stuff, left, right, and other. But are they gonna share? Are they gonna comment? Things of that nature, bro. Like at the same time, you get to a point where, like you said, you're working at a deficit, right?
A deficit. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, like you're working at a deficit, or you have a standard. Because I think we talked about it before. We are people of standard, not just as we say men of standard, but people of standard. We require stuff to be at a certain standard in order for us to pour resources. And there are times when the standard is not met, and then you go forward with something else or another avenue, and because you didn't wait around for people to meet deadlines, or meet standards, now you become a sellout.
Right. Well, I mean,
by their definition, not necessarily.
Yeah. But sometimes you gotta look at yourself and say, am I even appealing to? Is this my demographic that I'm
Right.
trying to appeal to? Is this the type of customer that I want to have?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because as a business owner, you get the choice of that.
Right.
You know, because you can pick and choose who you want to serve. You know, you don't have to do anything that you really don't want to do.
Yeah.
But the conversation that we had off camera yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's get into that because I think that covers this topic a little bit better.
Definitely. And the conversation was about fellow Winston-Salem State alum, good old Stephen A. and the NABJ, which is the National Association of Black Journalists, and they gave him the Thumbs Down Award. Then, of course, they had this mini video went out, and essentially it was saying, he was a sellout along with a couple other prominent people, and it's gotten, bro, it blew up to another issue that I'm seeing preachers that are prominent, right? And they put these faces of these people. They put like a tie and then a black person. They put a can and then a black person, and then they put a rat, like a rat, and then a black person. And the thing said, the tycoon went to Cancun and found a raccoon in his hotel.
Wow.
Like, bro, I think where you lose me when you talk about sellout, right? And this is my personal stuff. Where you lose me when you start talking about sellouts is where you start the name calling and wanting to address people in public, but yet when that person comes to you to give you the opportunity to respond in public, you all of a sudden want to go private with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my personal belief that the disrespect, like if the disrespect is public, the conversation needs to be public, and the apology needs to be just as public.
Yeah.
Like you can't just hide behind the facade of, oh, I put this stuff out, I got my likes, I got my clicks, I got all that type of stuff, and then when I reach out to you about a situation, you want to hide your hand like you ain't just throw a rock.
Man, I always say this, man. A simple conversation could fix a lot of problems.
Oh yeah.
And I think in that case, a lot of the times, I think it was whoever that was. They might have been operating from a place of hurt, and I think a simple conversation could have fixed that.
Oh yeah.
But when you do it on such grand of a scale, like the platform that they have, when you say something, it's gone. It's out there. So, like you said, I think that if you approach with that energy, you got to have the same energy when they extend the opportunity for you to talk about it publicly.
Well, I mean, let's take us. This hypothetical. This is not serious, show.
Oh Lord!
All right, but I like if it was folks that came up to me, they was like, "Hey, y'all haven't been doing the show as much, are y'all beefing or da 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 da?" And I said, "No, we're exploring different ways to, get outreach." I said, "He's got a busy schedule. I got a busy schedule."
Yeah.
And they was like, "Oh, I ain't gonna go out there on Facebook and be like, yeah, Rodney was out here doing his thing, and he think he could do better without." No, it's my brother.
Look, if me and Curtis are ever beefing, it's a real problem.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know. That don't even sound right.
But no, but that's the thing is that folks came to me and again, this hypothetical conversation. Folks came to me and was like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, he's selling out. He's trying to, get the views, get the likes, get the content, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
Nah, if there was an issue, I'm going to come directly to you and be like, "Hey, bro, I realize you're doing ABCDFG.
Yeah.
Hey, clue me in. Mm-hmm. How can I best support you?"
Yeah.
Like that's the way that conversation needs to go. Not me going on social media, turning my live on my phone, because I ain't got the equipment, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. But like that's how the conversation needs to go. Like you said, a simple conversation needs to happen. Not me blasting you on social media, not you coming blasting me on social media and or whatever.
Yeah.
But rather, if what they say, if your brother offends you, go to that brother. And I think a lot of times when we get into calling people out their names, whatever the case may be. And even when it comes to, you know, females having issues with females, even
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times, a lot of stuff goes more public that could have been kept private.
Right.
Like, and at the same time, when I think about us, right, and I'm talking about black folk in general, why are we airing out family business for other cultures to laugh at us and then wonder why we get cast in a bad light? Because that just affirms some of the stereotypes that people have.
Um, I can kind of see some pushback on that question.
That's
Like
fair.
I can see it coming a mile away. With I've heard a lot of, well, I've had conversations with a lot of people who kind of, push back against that. Like, why can't I talk about my experience
Right.
with toxic people,
Yeah.
family or not? But I think that, hold on, repeat that question because I don't want to answer it wrong.
No, so adding into you, but still presenting the question, right? Why do we air family laundry out for other cultures to laugh at us, but at the same time, I'll let you
Okay.
finish your thought, and we'll go from there.
I I think the answer for me to that question would be the intent behind the airing.
Right.
Because when you have someone that goes online to tell their experience, just to a lot of times they're doing it for themselves, just to get that out, not to demean or bring anybody else
Right.
down. But then you have those who bring it out because they want to bring somebody down. They want to embarrass them.
Right.
They want that person to hurt just as much as they do.
Right.
So I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, but I do think people also have the right to express themselves freely. Now, if you decide to, tell everything that, whether it's your upbringing or things that you're currently going through that involves family, once it's out there, it's out there. There may be some backlash. You may care about it, you may not. But at the end of the day, you have to deal with that. But I think it's all about the intent behind it.
Right. And the reason I'm glad that you went there, because what I'm talking about is when that person doesn't even know that y'all beefing or that
Okay.
there's an issue.
Yeah.
Now, this is where I transition to properly calling somebody out for being a sellout or just a genuinely toxic person.
Mm-hmm.
If you've gone through the process of having those conversations behind closed doors, because a lot of times when we come to a public setting like this, and we know folks out there, if they're having that conversation across live, a lot of times that conversation's been had time and time over years and decades.
Okay.
If you're doing that, I have no issue with that because one, you've done the groundwork. You've actually tried to communicate. You've actually tried to fix the situation. You've actually done a lot of the restorative work trying to get over the hump, and that has been rebuffed or rebutted or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that person's not they're not willing to admit, they're not willing to engage,
Not budging.
and they're just outright defiant in what they've done or
Okay.
right, wrong, indifferent. So in that case, call them out because you've done the legwork.
Mm-hmm.
This situation, like going back to Stephen A's, they had invited this man to the event like a year ago, 2 years ago. He was on the platform.
Okay.
And then you turn around in the course of a year and now it's an issue.
So something happened between those 2 points in time.
Which I know what happened. I could tell you,
Oh,
give
okay.
information to it because it was a situation with Jasmine Crockett, senator out of I think it's Texas,
Okay.
and they had they were going back and forth on social media, and there was an argument, and then I think it was some stuff about Kamala Harris that came out,
Mm-hmm.
and he's transitioned from the sports world to a political platform as well, and he's
Right.
great in sports world. I will stand firm on that. He's been a great advocate in terms of sports, HBCU culture, and everything like that.
Yeah.
Political world, he's still finding his footing. And I think that's like those conversations he was having, particularly around black women, is what spurred this thing. But they didn't, again, to my knowledge, no private conversation was had about that type of stuff. And had it been, maybe there's a different outcome. But also, this man is a superstar amongst media.
Mm-hmm.
That man ain't reading everybody comments.
Man, I tell you what, man. At the end of the day, everybody not gonna be happy with what you have to say. They're not gonna agree with all your takes on major topics, and you can't please everybody. You know, everybody's not gonna like you, and that's okay. But I think, you know, you just got to pick and choose your battles. You know, what's really worth going at it for. Now, I think the way that he addressed that with inviting her on the show, I thought that was probably the best way to do it. You know, if you can't have a conversation in private, but
I mean,
no matter what size the scale is, whether you're superstar level like him or you're local like us,
but
you can't please everybody.
To your point though, you got to be consistent across the board because he had the stuff with Trump, and he didn't say anything to that. I believe in being an equal opportunity person, meaning regardless of your background, your status, your whatever, I'm going to address you the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, because
why wouldn't I,
bro? Because folks be like, Curtis, you just mean sometimes, folks. And I said, it's not that I'm mean. I'm honest with you. Like,
you know what that is right there? You being candid. Everybody can't handle a candid person. And because if you are direct, you don't even got to be assertive. If you are direct, that makes people uncomfortable sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But that has nothing to do with you.
Right.
So because I'm being direct, I'm getting straight to the square business.
Yep.
That either offends you or makes you feel some type of way. That's not my issue.
Right.
You know, I'm not, as long as I'm not being disrespectful or using vulgar language or demeaning language, I should be able to express myself the way I do it, and you should be able to do it the way you do it. But everybody can't handle a direct person.
No. And, you know, sometimes this is where discernment comes into place with this, right? Because how a person receives you or receives what you say ultimately paints the picture that they have of you. And
people already, well, your local folks, if they don't know you already, but the people that know you already, they already see you some type of way.
Oh, yeah.
But your opinion of me is none of my business.
Sir.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep being me regardless.
Of course. We'll say that's the main thing, man. I don't believe in not showing up as my authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when it comes to the kids that I coach, they know me to be one particular way. And even they come up to me and they'll be like, "Hey, coach, what do I need to work on?" And I'll be like, "Look, you're great at ABC. You need to work on CDF." But I said, if you want, I'll teach you the way to get better, and we'll get better together. But at the same time, I can only do so much. Like with people in general, I say I can help you move forward, but if you're not willing to put in the work on your end, then we're not going to work.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to either move on or I'm going to have to put somebody, replace you. And that's where a lot of the frustration gets with people is when you have to replace and move on from bad circumstances, bad situations.
Man, regarding sellout culture, I really don't know. I guess I just don't look at other people like that. Like, I'm so busy on what I'm trying to do. I'm not really worried about it. Even if somebody in our community was a sellout, you know what I'm saying? Okay. What is me getting getting on this platform or any other platform and calling you out gonna do
Right.
for, that's not getting us nowhere, that's not getting them nowhere, and it surely ain't getting the community nowhere.
Right.
As long as I'm showing up and doing what I'm supposed to be doing and doing it for the right reasons, that's all I'm really worried about.
Yeah. I'm about to say, I was going to ask you a question. Have you ever been dubbed a sellout?
Labeled a sellout? No. I I guess I'm lucky. I've never had to really deal with somebody being that upset with me on a business tip. Maybe feeling like I was unfair. If that is the case, I definitely don't know about it. I've
Right.
never heard that. I try to be fair with everybody. I feel like, especially in the beginning of my journey, I was giving away flames, man. You know what I'm saying? Just you get one, you get one, you get one.
That man was out here being Oprah.
Man, what? But no, I've never directly dealt with that. I hope I never do. But even if I do, I gotta stand on my square, as we always say. I gotta keep doing me, man.
Hey, I feel that, man. See, me on the other end, yeah.
Okay, how
And,
so?
So I mean, again,
The people want to know.
the people can want to know all day, but essentially, stuff gets back to me all the time, and I'm one of those people. If it ain't directed, it ain't respected. So they'll be like, "Oh, so and so said ABC about you," or, I've been told before, "Oh, you're not a real black man," right? And granted, I tell people at the end of the day, I'm a capitalist, right? I think we all are. I say we all trying to get better with our finances, get to the next level or the next, tier and get out of just median family income. We all want better. But at the same time, the way I deal with it, somebody tells me about it, I'm always like, okay, call the person. Because half the time it ain't even what they talking about. It's something that they wanted to say, but they want to put it off on somebody else.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? If a person is willing to tell you this, then we need to have a conversation with that person. I want to talk to this person. I want to know who it is. Don't tell me
Is it
stuff.
always worth the conversation though?
And again, that's why I go back to discernment, right? Some conversations are worth it. If I actually value you as a person in my life, meaning that I see you as somebody that I'm going to engage with, that I'm going to be friends with going forward, that you're going to be in my circle of people that I know, then yeah, I find the conversation is worth it, because if we're going to be around each other, if we're going to be in business together, if we're going to be in a community relations piece together, I'm always active in so many different circles, then I believe that the conversation is necessary. If you're
Okay.
somebody that I don't deal with and I don't see, like I ain't seen you in 5+ years, I'm not going to go out my way to have that conversation. I'm going to be like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. They had, whatever. Again, your opinion of me doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But my circle's usually really is a medium-sized circle. I say, as much as I tell people I'm not a community person, I'm active in it.
Yeah.
So when somebody
You can't get away from it.
dude, it's so when people tell me about something and it's somebody that's in my network, I'm like, okay, well, let me go have this conversation with person B, because now in the spaces that I am, I don't want something like that flowing around unresolved, especially if I see you on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
I gotta have the conversation.
Some certain thing, I guess it just depends on what it is. But certain things will snowball and become bigger than they need to be.
Right. And I ain't gonna sit here with somebody side eyeing me all day. I say, you keep looking at me, I'm gonna come over there. What you want? What's going on? They be like, nothing. Okay.
Quit stern. Quit stern.
Boy.
Why you stern?
And I mean, but just, who farted in your face? Like, get out of here with that.
Yeah. Well, I'm so passive these days, man. I don't care, man. You be mad at me. I be kind of petty sometimes. Like, if I know you mad at me, I probably end up giving you a reason, just cause. I know it's petty. But
dude, it's I think it's something that comes with age. Me now at 36, I'm not dealing with that, a lot of stuff, bro. At 20,
Well, yeah,
yo,
yeah. 20,
so
man, you ain't even fully, your brain ain't fully developed. You know what I'm saying? You got that special drug called F it in your system.
oh yeah. But I think that comes along with it too, is that the older you get, the more you're willing to have those conversations. Where back in the day, disrespect was handled with hands,
Oh,
and
you living in a different day now. That boy gonna
boy,
Swiss cheese you up.
I say
You know
the
what I'm
thing,
saying?
it just ain't worth it, man.
I
Half of the
ain't
fights
look.
ain't worth it,
All y'all little youngins, y'all got it, fam. I ain't got no problem. I don't want no problems.
bruh. And you know what's weird is that we have kids under the age of like even 15 talking crazy,
Mhm. I know you deal. I know you deal with them all the
bruh.
time.
I and then I find out sometimes parents don't like me, but they kids love me.
Dog.
And I think that's the part for me that when I think about being called a sellout versus actually being one, I'm still gonna show up for my community no matter what. Now, granted, Stephen A has done a bunch of stuff good for the community.
Hmm.
I don't want to ever become so desensitized, right? That I'm hurting one side of my community while helping another. Because I believe two things can be true. I believe that you can be a sellout and still help your community, but you have to make sure that your moral integrity stays solid. Because, again, as we get older, things change. We want different things. We expect certain things. We expect greater. And then we kind of let the morals slide by if we don't see ourselves at a certain level by
Well,
insert age here.
that's anything. You can get comfortable, a little bit too comfortable in anything that you do. I think that I do think that two things can be true at the same time. We hear it all the time. Pick the lesser of the two evils. But that just goes into, man, you can't please everybody,
At
and
all.
it's no point in trying. You know what I'm saying? You got to do. People respect the person that knows how to make decisions, whether it be good or bad, whatever the effect is, whether it's positive or negative. I think you would gain more respect from being a decisive person than trying to straddle the fence, because at the end of the day, I mean, straddling the fence is a symptom of people pleasing. But
Yeah.
all you do is just make the people that you're trying to please even more mad. So I would rather be a decisive person,
Yeah.
take my L's wherever they fall, and just rock out like that.
I'm with you, man. Being a decisive person, I've honestly learned that more this year than any other time
I
in my
have too.
life,
Yeah.
because there was a time where I tried to make everybody happy, and it would be at the cost of, you know, maybe something failing, because I tried to make everybody happy. The overall product or whatever failed.
I can't do it, man. I
Dude,
ain't I ain't got it.
I hate failure more than pleasing.
I I used to hate failure, but I learned over time that failure, I think we need to change the meaning of that word, man.
Mhm.
In certain circumstances, failure ain't always a bad thing. A failure is just a person who tried
Mhm.
and it didn't work out. But that's not a forever thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think we have to reprogram, refocus our minds.
The- if I'm going to fail, if I'm going to get to the part where what they say, it's either I win or I get a lesson, right?
Yeah.
If I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail with my best foot forward. I'm not going to fail trying to please everybody.
Yeah.
I'm going to fail knowing I did everything in my power to put myself, my team, my community in the best position to win.
Hmm.
And if I come up short, you know what? I made it further than I would have if I would have tried to please everybody else.
Yeah. And failure, we all know that failure kills dreams, man. And that's what I'm saying. I used to be afraid of failure, but now I look at it as a learning opportunity. And also, um, I would rather go out knowing that I tried to do something rather than just staying comfortable and staying where I'm at. And I reminisce over my life sometimes, like, man, I wish I had participated in this, did this, um, said this a little differently to this person or whatever, man. Um, I just gotta shoot your shot, man. You know how I am, bro. When I get an
Man, look,
idea, I'm like, all right, let's go ahead and do it.
do I know?
What's the what's the hold up?
Look, do I know, sir? And I mean that's something to be inspired. So if you out there, man, if you don't know what tomorrow may bring, what idea, a lot of us will play with the idea of doing this, doing that, bro.
Do it,
Just
man.
do it. Do it.
Do it. I don't care if you ain't. I don't care what it is. If you want to do photography and you ain't got a $3,000 camera, do it anyway. If you want to do a podcast and you ain't got a soundboard and $200-300 in microphones and lights and all,
Lights and
do
all
it
that.
anyway. Do it with a phone. If you wanna, I don't know.
Look, if
You
you
got
want to
some
go back to
examples?
school and you've been
And you 40
playing
plus,
with it, man, I'd look. Go get your degree if that's what you want to do. If you want to get your certification in something, go get the certification. Your age, whether you have kids or not, none of that matters. Go and achieve whatever it is. And if people want to talk about you, call you a sellout for not being able to be around as much or not being as available as you used to be for them, then they wasn't for you anyway.
you want to start a business and you want to charge comparative prices to your competitors out there, and people don't like it, do it anyway.
Yeah.
Everybody's not gonna value what you value. You got to learn that early. You have to accept it. Do not be out here trying to please everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is not your customer. Everybody is not your friend. Everybody is not your supporter. And you got to learn how to be okay with that and stand on your square. Keep doing what you do. Do it for the right reasons. And that's it, man.
Look, and if you need an example, for real, shoot, look right here, man. Like we know we get a lot of requests for topics and stuff like that. We set stuff up. And
Oh man. So let's let y'all know about that, man.
Oh Lord.
We had multiple requests to address, and this is totally off topic. We had multiple requests to address the water crisis that's going on in West Virginia right now.
Yeah.
We actually reached out to a few people to try and set up an episode. We were gonna do multiple episodes. All of those inquiries fell through for whatever reason. We tried to do what we could. We reached out, extended the invitation, and it just didn't pan out. I really don't want to expand on that topic because I'm not educated enough to really have a take on it. So I guess we'll keep trying, guys.
Look, on the real, if you really want to know about that topic, about the water crisis, things of that nature, we know there's a lot of stuff that you can look up on Facebook. I think there are people that are covering that are integral in that community, and like you said, we don't have the knowledge, but bringing awareness is what we're about in that area. That's the best we can do right now. And it's not that we don't care about community or didn't want to do certain stuff. It's just we tried to set it up and it fell through.
I just don't want to get on here and just start spewing rhetoric.
Yeah,
that's not what we do.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, man, we are here one because of y'all, and if it's important to y'all, it's really important to us. And we're gonna try to find somebody that's educated, somebody that's working in that area or that field, and really be able to talk or at least have a back and forth conversation with somebody that can give y'all information that we are not able to.
Right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Square Business. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. We've gotten a lot of, I'll tell you this, we've gotten a lot more subscribers and followers if you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
Between Facebook and YouTube, I think we are nearing around 900 subscribers. So
Ooh.
shout out to y'all, man. We appreciate
big shout out to y'all. Help us get to 1,000.
Yeah. Help us get to 1,000. Kurt, you got anything for him?
Hey, keep tuned in to the Facebook, to the YouTube, to our socials. Something big might be on the horizon. We just gonna leave it at that. We're gonna put information out as it comes.
Yeah, we'll let you know a little bit later. But definitely keep tuning in. Share the videos. We got 2 whole seasons for you to go back through. And I'm excited for what the rest of season 3 holds. We love you guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I never say it in the correct sequence, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. So, like, comment, subscribe. Until then, Square Business.
Square Business, man.